Deep in the hills of Portland, where the mist rolls down like soft curtains and the trees hum with cicadas, there lived a village most Jamaicans had never heard of. It was called Riverfoot, a small settlement cradled by two rivers that twisted together like strands of rope. The people of Riverfoot lived simple, farming yam, fishing, and selling a little produce in the nearest town. But outsiders rarely came, for the village was hidden by bush and guarded by stories. One Saturday morning, a group of 4 friends from Kingston, Mikey, Shanice, Dwayne, and Carla, decided to explore the countryside. They were all in their early 20s, full of energy and curiosity. Mikey had heard rumors of a bottomless river where people swore they saw shadows move under the water like spirits. Shanice, ever the skeptic, laughed it off. "Boy, a just old-time story dat," she said, folding her arms. "But me wan see it fi meself," replied Mikey. Carla shook her head, Anu always chasing foolishness. "But me dep on the ride still." And so, they set off in Dwayne's battered blue Corolla, winding through the narrow mountain roads until the sound of the city faded and only birdsong filled the air. When they finally reached Riverfoot, the villagers greeted them with wary eyes. An elderly woman selling roasted breadfruit on the roadside called out, "Anu young pick-me, where Anu heading?" "To the river," Mikey said with confidence. Her face changed. She put down the breadfruit and looked each of them in the eye. "The river no like strangers. Mind how Anu step." The friends laughed nervously, but pressed on, guided by a narrow dirt track that led into the forest. The deeper they went, the cooler the air became, until they finally heard the rush of water. The river was breathtaking, clear as glass, wide, and shimmering under the sunlight. Yet, there was something unsettling. No birds perched near it. No fish flickered in the shallows. Just silence and the constant whisper of flowing water. They spread out. Shanice pulled out her phone to take pictures, while Dwayne skipped stones across the surface. Mikey, bold as always, leaned down and scooped up water to drink. But as he did, his reflection rippled strangely. It wasn't his own face looking back at him. It was an older man's face, eyes deep and sorrowful. Mikey stumbled back. "Anu see dat?" he shouted. The others rushed over. In that moment, the river began to move differently. The current swirled into patterns, forming shapes like human hands reaching upward. A low hum rose, not from the air, but from the water itself. Carla whispered, "Me granny always tell me, river keep memory. Every tear, every laugh, every drop of blood wash into it, and it never forget." As if on cue, the water surged, and before their eyes, visions played across the surface, maroons fleeing through the forest, enslaved people hiding near the banks, children long gone splashing and laughing. The river was showing its history. The friends stood frozen, until the vision changed again. This time, they saw 4 figures themselves standing by the river. But in the vision, the 4 of them were being dragged under by ghostly hands. Panic set in. Shanice screamed, "We haffy leave." They turned to run, but the path they came through seemed swallowed by mist. The river roared louder, as if angry. Then, from the shadows of the trees, the old woman from the roadside appeared. She was barefoot, her white dress flowing like mist. "Young blood always stubborn," she said firmly. "Dis river nuff I play with. Is the keeper of all who pass. It remember joy, but it remember pain too. And it test those who disrespect it." The friends begged her to help. She closed her eyes, dipping her hand into the current. The water calmed at her touch. "If Anu want fi leave, Anu haffy give the river respect. Each Anu must confess a truth. Something heavy wet Anu carry inside." One by one, they stepped forward. Mikey admitted he often acted fearless, but deep down was afraid of being forgotten, like his absent father. Shanice confessed she mocked old stories because she feared believing would make her weak. Dwayne spoke of his shame for leaving school early, pretending he didn't care when deep down he did. Carla revealed she often felt like the least important in the group, hiding behind laughter so no one would see her sadness. With each confession, the river quieted, its surface smoothing into glass once more. The mist began to lift. The old woman nodded. Now I knew understand. The river not just carry water, it carry truth. And truth can drown, or truth can free. When they blinked, she was gone. Only the sound of the river remained. The friends hurried back to the village, shaken but alive. No one spoke until they reached the car. Finally, Carla broke the silence. From today, me done laugh off old stories. Jamaica full of things deeper than we know. Mikey, staring out at the hills, whispered, and the river remember all. Moral of the story: in Jamaica, every place carries memory. The rivers, the mountains, even the wind. When we show respect for our history, our culture, and ourselves, we find freedom. But when we ignore it, we risk being swallowed by the same waters that gave us life. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can join me for more Jamaican tales and adventures.